I know most of the time on this channel we talk about NBA curses, jinxes, and all the unlucky moments that have haunted players and teams. But today I figured we flip the script. Instead of focusing on bad luck, we're diving into the other side of the coin, the good luck charms. Whether it's a lucky item or even a person who seems to bring fortune wherever they go. Because when championships are on the line, you'll take good luck any way you can get it.
Yeah, it's the reason why, I got the double digits and points and rebounds. So.
Back in March of 2017 at an autograph event in San Francisco, something happened that would go down as one of the most legendary fan interactions in NBA history. A Warriors fan named Ronnie Reyes walked up to Klay Thompson, not with a jersey, not with a basketball, but with a toaster. And he asked Klay if he'd do him the honor of signing it. Klay understandably had a confused look on his face, but eventually he grabbed the marker and signed it. At the time, he might have thought it was just a funny, weird request, but I bet he's glad he did, because from that day on, the Warriors went 31-2. They kicked things off with a 14-game winning streak. The only reason they didn't make it 15 straight, Klay Thompson didn't even play in that game.
Right after Klay signed a toaster, we went on a 14-game winning streak. The one game where he sat, we lost, so the toaster magic was real.
Their next loss wouldn't come until Game 4 of the NBA Finals, and as we all know, they closed it out the very next game, winning the championship. And Thompson figured that the least he could do is invite Ronnie to the championship parade. He even got to ride on one of the floats.
The reason I'm here right now is because I have a toaster that was signed by Klay Thompson. The picture went viral, and I'm responsible for 31-2.
Now, some might argue that adding Kevin Durant is what made Golden State virtually unstoppable. And yeah, that's true to an extent. But here's the thing. Durant went down with a knee injury just before March, forcing him to miss 19 games. So he wasn't really even a part of the toaster era, or at least a good chunk of it. When he first got hurt, the Warriors struggled, even dropping 3 games in a row. That's when Ronnie Reyes showed up with his toaster, right at the perfect time, when the Warriors needed a spark. He unknowingly gave them one. So yeah, maybe Kevin Durant helped seal the deal, but let's be real. Deep down, every Warriors fan knows it all started with a toaster.
After signing the toaster, the Warriors went 31-2. So I want to know, next year, what appliance will you be signing?
I don't know, Bob. Anything you got? I never thought we go 33-1 or 32-1, whatever it was, and let's do it again. Why not?
So next year's home opener, make them mobile, bring the appliances. Klay will be signing every appliance to start next year.
Everyone knows the story. The 1985 NBA draft lottery, the very first one in league history. The New York Knicks end up with the #1 pick and select Patrick Ewing, and to this day, most fans still believe it was rigged. But what if there was another explanation? Representing the Knicks that night was then Director of Basketball Operations Dave DeBusschere. And while everyone focuses on frozen envelopes, bent corners, and all these conspiracy theories, hardly anyone talks about the good luck charm DeBusschere actually brought with him. DeBusschere walked into the lottery with a horseshoe in his pocket, but not just any horseshoe. He borrowed it from a legendary harness racing horse named On the Road Again.
And here in New York City, the Knicks have been given this lucky horseshoe right off the foot of harness racing speedster On the Road Again. So the stage is set.
This wasn't some random trinket. The horse was famous, a winner, and supposedly carried some of that racing magic in its shoe.
That's On the Road Again down at the rail. Ring of Light is out and coming at him. On the Road Again under a drive. Ring of Light inching out, but On the Road Again wins the 1985 Canadian Pacing Derby.
And wouldn't you know, the Knicks walked away that night with the first pick and the rights to Patrick Ewing.
The second pick in the 1985 NBA draft goes to the Indiana Pacers.
The horseshoe works. Basketball is back in New York City, my friends.
If the lottery was truly rigged, if the NBA had already decided that Ewing was destined for New York, then why would he even bother going through all the trouble of tracking down a horseshoe from a championship horse? Why bring a good luck charm to something that was supposedly predetermined? Of course, the rigging theories aren't going away anytime soon, but maybe, just maybe, the real reason the Knicks won the lottery wasn't a frozen envelope. Maybe it was an old horseshoe in Dave DeBusschere's pocket.
The horseshoe works.
Okay, I know I've been beating that dead horse about how I truly believe the NBA draft lottery is rigged for years now. Obviously, that's still very much on the table, but for the sake of this video, there's no harm in asking, what if there is some merit to good luck charms? Back in 1996, the Philadelphia 76ers entered the lottery with the best odds to land the #1 pick. But if history has taught us anything, the lottery is never guaranteed. And president and part owner at the time, Pat Croce, knew that better than anyone. So instead of leaving things up to chance, Croce decided to add a little twist of superstition. He had a crystal ball shipped in all the way from Ireland, hoping it would boost the Sixers' odds of walking away with the top selection. And it looked like the charm worked. The Sixers were rewarded with the #1 pick in the 1996 NBA draft. You can even see him immediately give credit to the crystal ball. And with that pick, Philadelphia selected Allen Iverson. Back in 2011, the Cleveland Cavaliers were searching for hope after losing LeBron James. Their representative at the draft lottery that year was Dan Gilbert's son, Nick Gilbert. That night, Nick and his lucky bow tie helped the Cavs land the #1 pick in the draft. 2 years later in 2013, the Cavs once again sent Nick to the stage, rocking his signature bow tie. And sure enough, with Nick representing them, the Cavs once again struck gold and won the #1 overall pick. So when it came time for the 2014 NBA draft lottery, General Manager David Griffin wasn't about to take any chances. He represented the Cavs that night because Nick wasn't able to make it, but he made sure to tuck Nick's bow tie into his jacket pocket for good luck. And wouldn't you know it, Cleveland won the #1 pick again, their third in 4 years.
There is something about the good luck coming from Cleveland, the water. Nick Gilbert, congratulations. What can this #1 pick do for your franchise?
Well, I think it's just a really defining moment for us. We hope it certainly becomes one. But in the words of the great Nick Gilbert, what's not to like? I have his bow tie here as well, so he got it for us again.
Hard to believe, the third time in 4 years.
Fast forward to 2019. By this time, David Griffin was no longer in Cleveland. He was now with the New Orleans Pelicans. But there was one problem. The Cavs were sending Nick Gilbert back to represent them again, bow tie and all. That meant Griffin couldn't exactly reuse Cleveland's old good luck charm. So the Pelicans got creative. They held a fan contest to decide what lucky charm Griffin should bring to the lottery. The winner? A woman named Connie Halfin, who submitted her 56-year-old wooden angel. Griffin carried it with him in his pocket that night, but he wasn't done there. Just in case the angel wasn't enough to counter Nick's bow tie, Griffin also turned to a familiar piece of luck, a tie that once belonged to Jeff Cohen, a Cavaliers executive who had been present during Cleveland's 3 previous lottery wins. Griffin didn't wear it himself though. Instead, he gave it to head coach Alvin Gentry to wear during the lottery. So that night, Griffin had 2 layers of luck, the wooden angel in his pocket and Cohen's tie on Alvin Gentry. And what happened? The Pelicans won the 2019 draft lottery and the chance to draft Zion Williamson.
Well, congratulations, David.
Thank you.
You look pretty happy there. I see you're holding something. Can we just walk me through if this is a good luck charm?
So we did a contest in New Orleans. One of our ticket holders, Connie Halfin, gave us this. This is her lucky angel. It's a 56-year-old wooden angel.
To thank you for getting us the #1 pick and for sharing that family heirloom with us, we're giving you 2 season tickets.
Oh, wow!
Now here's the crazy part. What if the real good luck charm wasn't Nick's bow tie all along? What if it had always been Jeff Cohen's tie that carried the magic?
Griffin's a lucky guy, you know. He gave me a tie to wear that has won 3 lotteries, so.
Obviously, we think.
I said, it's freaking times 3 lotteries. All right, man.
Heading into the 2005 NBA draft lottery, the Milwaukee Bucks had just a 6.3% chance of landing the #1 pick. So just like the Pelicans, the Bucks also ran a contest that allowed their fans to submit items for the front office to bring to the lottery for good luck. They ultimately decided to go with this, a fishing lure. The lure reportedly came from a 16-year-old kid, and here's what he wrote to the team. After reading it, I completely understand why he won the contest. He claimed that whenever he used his lucky lure, he would catch gigantic fish, and later on that summer, it helped his favorite team reel in the biggest fish in the draft, 7-footer Andrew Bogut. While Bogut didn't deliver them a championship, they believe this guy did. Meet Ben Tainai, a vocal coach who spends most of his days in a small music room. In 2021, the Bucks dubbed him their good luck charm, and that's because the team had a remarkably high win rate when he sang the national anthem at home games during the 2021 championship run.
Tainai's rendition of the national anthem making him a Bucks celebrity. The team considers his voice a good luck charm.
He made sure to always wear what he called his lucky blazer when performing. They usually change up singers every game, but thought that it was probably best to have him stick around.
Tainai usually sings about 4 games a season, but he's getting more opportunities now during the playoffs, especially since every game he sings, the Bucks win.
The Bucks' winning streak seems to coincide with Ben's performances, starting with Game 1 against the Heat.
But it was a really close game, and so I think after that they were kind of like, a lot of things went our way at the end there, and so I think we're going to try to do the exact same thing, rinse and repeat. So after that they called me and they said, let's see if we can get another one, and then the next game they won by like 30. So then after that it was like the legend was born.
Do you feel like you're good luck?
I feel like I might be. I think it's the blazer.
The Bucks' home record was excellent when Tainai performed the anthem in the 2021 playoffs. They won nearly all their games when he sang at the Pfizer Forum. They swept the Heat. Then they beat the Nets in 7 games, winning every home game in the process. They even won Game 7 on the road. And their fans believe it's partly because the Bucks had Ben sing in the Deer District before the start of Game 7, basically simulating a home game atmosphere. Now here's where they might have jinxed themselves for a brief moment. You see, they were undefeated at home all the way up into the Eastern Conference Finals. As soon as they started to catch on that Ben might be their good luck charm, they made several news segments about it, right before they faced off against Atlanta in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
As the Bucks officials have called him their good luck charm.
Some airing on the day before Game 1, and again on the day of Game 1, just hours before tip-off. So it's almost like the moment they decided to acknowledge the winning streak they were on when it came to home games ended up having the opposite effect.
It is off. Rebound is back tap. Taken by Young, who fires to the crowd, and the Atlanta Hawks have come up with an upset.
But that was just a small bump in the road, a minor inconvenience, because he went on to continue singing the national anthem at their home games, and they did not lose in that building again for the rest of the way, closing out the Hawks in 6, as well as beating the Phoenix Suns in 6 games in the NBA Finals. After they dropped the first 2 games in Phoenix, they probably weren't even worried, because they knew they would be going back home to Ben.
And now, the man who sang the national anthem at all playoff games this year, our good luck charm, Ben Tainai.
We are the champion of the world.
Speaking of lucky jackets, in 2009, the LA Clippers were desperate for a fresh start. They had just come off another disappointing season, and all eyes were on the upcoming NBA draft lottery. The prize? A chance to land the consensus #1 pick, Oklahoma's high-flying forward Blake Griffin. Now, most teams would just send a representative, sit nervously, and hope for the best. But Clippers president Annie Roser decided to take things a step further. When he showed up to the lottery, he was wearing a custom-made blazer, and this wasn't just any blazer. It had some very intentional stitching on the inside. On one side of the jacket, the number 23 was sewn in. That was Blake Griffin's college number at Oklahoma. On the other side was the number 1, symbolizing the Clippers' dream scenario of winning the top overall pick. It was part superstition, part fashion statement, and part silent prayer to the basketball gods. And believe it or not, I guess it worked. The Clippers ended up winning the lottery and securing that coveted #1 pick. Of course, they used it to draft Blake Griffin, the player they obviously wanted from the very beginning. As we all know, the other LA team won the championship that year. During the 2009 NBA playoffs, ESPN ran a feature on Lakers forward Lamar Odom, but it wasn't about basketball, it was about his love for candy. The piece revealed that Odom's personal assistant literally went to the store every single day just to buy him candy, bags and bags of it.
Lamar Odom is quite simply the candy man.
I'm the supplier on the team. If you need that candy fix, I got it.
But when fans saw that segment, they immediately became concerned. People questioned how a professional athlete could possibly be eating junk food like that during a championship run.
How is it that you can be one of the top athletes in the world and still consume all that sugar?
I don't know.
But I'm diabetic. I can't be eating this stuff.
Not good.
And Lamar better be careful. He will be too.
So much for the adage about eating healthy, and that's the lifestyle you got to live to make it a dozen years in the NBA. Doesn't work that way.
All the kids out there, don't be looking at Lamar, please.
Even a local doctor chimed in. He went so far as to write a letter to the team, arguing that Odom's massive candy consumption was the real reason behind his inconsistent play in the 2009 playoffs. And honestly, he kind of had a point. His theory was rooted in common sense. Fuel your body with bad food and your performance is going to suffer. But Odom pushed back on that idea. According to him, candy wasn't hurting his game, it was fueling it.
I'm ready right now. My body's running and working right now.
In fact, he credited Candy with some of his best performances in those playoffs, specifically games 5 and 6 of the Western Conference Finals against the Denver Nuggets, where Odom was a huge factor in helping the Lakers advance to the NBA Finals. And it all came down to one minor adjustment. He started eating candy for breakfast.
It's funny because the games I played well was the games where I ate candy for breakfast. I guess he's wrong, even though, I mean, he's a doctor. The games, game 5, game 6, I ate candy for breakfast. It's the reason why, I got the double digits and points and rebounds. So I guess I'm gonna have to eat candy for breakfast in order to play well. I guess the doctor's wrong.
From that point on, Odom began to believe that candy wasn't just fuel. It might actually be his good luck charm.
Odom says in light of his recent success, he's not about to change his eating habits, no matter what the doctor says.